today, I'd like to talk to you about an often overlooked, but a very important and critical piece of self-reliance, and that's communication. Now, I would bet to say that every one of you have one of these. Cell phone, right? Damn near everybody has one. But do you have anything else? Do you know of anything else? If you get yourself in a bind and your cell phone gets, I don't know, ran over by a bulldozer like my dad did, or you're just in a black spot where you don't have any signal, can you communicate any other way? I would bet to say that none of you have carrier pigeons, so I don't think that's a way to go. You probably don't have 2 cups and a string, so that's probably out of there too. So what else do you have? Well, I would say the second most popular form of communication is probably this guy right here. The old standby, the old CB radio. Damn near every trucker has one. Damn near every redneck has one. Damn near every farmer has one. And most off-road vehicles have one. There are a few people out there that say it's archaic and it's not that good and that they don't want to use it. But let's say you meet up with a bunch of guys and not all of them have the same stuff. What's the best way to communicate if you can't use your phone? But if everybody has a CB and you're going a short distance, you know, less than 5-10 miles, then a CB works great. Do you have anything else? Do you even know of anything else? Have you ever heard of a ham radio? Now, a ham radio is similar to a CB radio. It's like a CB radio on steroids. It can go a lot farther. You have more options with it, but there are some downfalls. With the ham radio, you have to go take a test and get a license to operate it. You don't need a license to operate a CB radio. You just scan for the channel that has people talking, then you talk to them. This bad boy, this is a Bofang. I bought it off of Amazon. It's pretty cheap. It's a little, what I call an emergency radio. I don't have my ham operator license yet. I just kind of got this, and I'm just getting into it, so I can't tell you all the, little bitty cool guy stuff about it. I know that they can range anywhere from $40 to like $2,000 for the big ones, and those $2,000 one, they can go like 100 miles. If you have a repeater, you can go almost twice as far. So let's say you don't want to get you don't want to spend the $35 to go get a ham operator's license. What else do you have? Well, there is also a GMRS radio, right? And it's kind of like a CB again, but it's programmed. It's programmed to certain programs, and you also have to have a license for it. So if you don't want to have a license, you don't want to spend that extra money, you don't want have to get somebody to program stuff for you, is there anything else that you have? Is there any other options out there? Do you guys know of any other options? There's always this option, right? The old walkie-talkies. I mean, doesn't get better than that. Remember when you were a kid, you got those plastic G.I. Joe walkie-talkies? How fucking cool were those? Well, these are a little bit better than those plastic ones. I just got these not too long ago. I had some other ones and they were just really old and kind of, getting beat up, so I couldn't use them. These things are awesome if you got a couple dudes that are four-wheeling and you're not that far apart. I know it says 25 miles on here, but trust me, that's complete and utter bullshit. If you're out in the mountains, you're out in the woods, even if you're in a city, you're only gonna get a mile or two if you're lucky. Line of sight, yeah, you might get 25 miles. I mean, maybe if like one dude's on top of a mountain and the other dude's like in Kansas. But other than that, you're not gonna get that, right? The cool thing about these is they make them now, they're rechargeable. They have rechargeable batteries. You can plug them in and charge them up, so you can keep them charged up fairly easily. They also have a weather channel, so you can just hit a button and it tells you the weather. So what we used to do is we'd be out four-wheeling on our four-wheelers or in our vehicles out in the middle of nowhere, hit this button, oh, the weather's coming in, hey, let's pack it up, right? Or another thing we used to use these before cell phones got popular, or when there were a lot of dead spots of cell phones, you could just take one of these and you could put it between two vehicles, and if they're moving, then you could talk to each other. So we did that when we were moving from Oklahoma back to Colorado. We just had one of these in each vehicle, and hey, I need gas. Okay, cool, let's pull over. Hey, I'm hungry. Something like this is very simple, and I think these were like 40, 50 bucks. You get two of them, you get the charging thing, everything, right? Well, what else is there? There is something out there that's everybody's probably heard of. It's called a satellite phone. We use it a lot in the military when we were overseas. They are very expensive. They are very expensive to operate, i.e. minutes. But if you are going on a legit like big adventure, and or maybe you're like out in the woods by yourself for a long hunt or something like that, and you are going to be alone, and if you do need help, you need it right away, that might be something you want to invest in. Me, I don't think I need one. You can always rent them. They have them for rent in certain places. Again, they're slightly expensive, but again, if you need them, you need them. Another thing they have is, now this is not one, this is just a regular GPS, but they have GPSs that now can send like text messages, right? I have a little Spot, and what that was a little communication device to where when I was out hiking, I could hit a button and that would send 911 my way. Give them a 10-digit grid, and they send help my way. The bad thing about the Spots, and even the ones that you can send messages out on, you have to have a subscription. You have to pay a yearly cost. The ones that you can send messages out on are a little bit pricey. They're around $500. They have a new version of the Spot. It's a little bitty one, and it can actually Bluetooth to like your iPad or your phone, and you can get updated GPS and all that stuff, which is actually really cool. So if you're using your phone and you're using apps on your phone like HEMA Maps or anything like that, X Off-Road, anything like that you're going hiking or four-wheeling on, you can get really super updated GPS, because obviously iPads and phones aren't all that perfect, and you can send messages out, stuff like that, which is awesome. That pretty much covers all of communication. I mean, you really don't have much beyond that. There might be onesie twosie here and there, but let's talk about price, right? You got your cell phone, which is awesome. That thing probably cost $1,000 at least, more than likely. I know mine did. How about a CB? Like I said, it's probably the second most popular thing out there. How about a CB? That thing costs 30 bucks. You can get them on Amazon and for like 30 bucks. Go to Walmart and grab them. They literally have a power and a ground wire. Super easy to hook up. They can run the antenna wire, and they even have magnetic ones. You can just throw it on top of your vehicle. So as far as ease of use, super simple. The ones now are not like the old ones where you have to tune them. They're like auto tuning, which is great. If you have a ham radio, again, you have to go get your operator's license and all that, and you can take classes to really learn how to use it, because from what I understand, they're pretty simple once you figure it out, but until you figure it out, they're kind of hard. The walkie-talkies, obviously super simple. You just put each one on the same channel and you're good to go. So if you're on a budget and you need something that you just want to, something to make you feel a little bit safer, you can always, I personally, I would go for a CB radio if you're going to be in your vehicle more than on your feet. If you're going to be on your feet more, you might want to go ahead and hit up a ham radio, because the walkie-talkies, you have to have somebody else that has that walkie-talkie that's on that same channel in order to help you. That might be the way to go. Or if you want to, you can spend the extra money and you can go with the DeLorean InReach, which is a GPS plus it sends out signal for help. If you're an avid hiker and you're one of those outdoor people that are just in the mountains all the time, that might be the way to go. That would probably be the great way to go. If you're in your vehicle all the time and you like four-wheeling, or you're on an ATV, something like that, maybe a CB radio's type where the place to go. Maybe a ham radio's where you want to go. So the moral of the story is, don't just rely on this. This, while great, obviously it has a battery life. Obviously, if it's roaming for a signal, that battery life gets sucked down really quick. And also, it's not 100% reliable. Even when your signal's down really low, you can usually send a text message out. And if you can't get a text message out, then you're kind of screwed if you don't have any other plans. So think about all that stuff the next time you go on your next adventure, your hiking, next four-wheeling trip, whatever. Even when you're taking a long road trip and there's a big space that you have to drive through, like fucking Utah. If you gotta drive through Utah in the middle of the night and there ain't a goddamn thing out there and you break down, well, what are you gonna do? Well, a CB radio, you can holler at just about any semi truck and they can, help you out. So, just food for thought. Thought I'd get this short video out there, let you guys know a little bit about communication. Just remember, always ask yourself at the end of the day, are you an asset or are you a liability?